Hey guys, it's Shadowardy here, and I'm back with another 6th Gen Wi-Fi battle. Today we have a match against Colossal, and he's got a very threatening team. Look at his team. I'm mostly afraid of that Weavile because it outspeeds my entire team. That's right, I have no one choiced on this team at all. And Weavile, I believe, has base 130 speed, so it outspeeds everything on my team. Plus, it's really strong against my defensive wall, my Landorus. That's really unfortunate. He's also got a Dragonite. I have to watch out for that. His two walls, Quagsire and Ferrothorn, is going to be really, really annoying. And he's also got possibly a Mega Alakazam. So yeah, so why don't we get started with this match? So I'm going to lead off with my Latios, as predicting him to lead off with the Ferrothorn, and that case is going to work out as he does lead off with the Ferrothorn. Now, I do carry HP Fire on my Latios, and no matter what, a Ferrothorn cannot live a +1 HP Fire from a Latios. No matter what, no matter the EV spread, it cannot live. As long as he doesn't have Protect, I should be fine. I just predicted him to go for Stealth Rocks this turn, as I just went straight for the Calm Mind. So just so I could power up to +1. As long as he doesn't have Protect, he cannot live this Hidden Power Fire. So I do hit him with the Hidden Power Fire, and the Ferrothorn is going to go down. So the only thing Ferrothorn does in this match is set up rocks. I'm completely fine with that because one of his walls is now down. That's a huge advantage for me. Now he's going to bring in the Weavile. Obviously, I'm scared out. I don't want to stay in. I am going to switch out now. Luckily, he doesn't have the Pursuit, or at least he doesn't have the Pursuit this turn because he didn't go for it. So I'm going to actually go into my Conkeldurr. I resist any hit from this Weavile. I'm sorry, I don't resist any hit, but I can take a potential knockoff if he goes for that, as he does. He does get rid of my Assault Vest, which is unfortunate. It's honestly not going to matter too much in this match, as I can potentially scare him out with the potential Drain Punch. He's actually going to decide to switch out here, go into the Quagsire. I actually decide to predict this and go into my Chansey. Now with that Ferrothorn dead, I'm pretty much free to go for a Toxic and poison anything on his team. And that is going to be really good for me because Chansey is really bulky. So at this point, I'm just going to go for the Toxic. Thankfully, I do hit the Quagsire. I honestly really wanted to poison the Quagsire because with this thing poisoned, he can't stay in too long, otherwise he dies. As he goes for the Toxic of his own, honestly, that's fine. Chansey does get Natural Cure, and when I switch out, I will lose that poison. It's not really going to matter too much in my case. At this point, I wanted to see if he would switch out. So I actually decided to go for another Toxic, as he does switch out. So that's actually pretty awesome. I do get to poison 2 of his Pokemon as he brings in the Infernape. Yeah, that is going to be really big because his Infernape and his Quagsire are now both poisoned. Really good play on my part, honestly. There was really no reason for his Quagsire to stay in, so I just wanted to see just in case if he wanted to stay in and take this potential Toxic. Now at this point, I want to go to my Landorus because I can take any hit from this Infernape. If I can set up rocks in this match, that's going to be great for me. I do go to my Landorus, get the Intimidate drop. I do have the Rocky Helmet on this set, so that's going to be really nice for me. If he for whatever move he wants to go for, he is going to take recoil damage from the Rocky Helmet. And I'm completely fine with that because Infernape has no way to recover health, and as long as I dwindle down this Infernape, I should be in a good spot. And he is poisoned as well. He does U-turn, which is actually a little bit unfortunate because I really wanted to set up Stealth Rocks this turn. Honestly, if he didn't go for U-turn this one, like for like Flare Blitz or Close Combat, that would have been much better for me. But honestly, U-turn was his best play because he does get Switch Initiative, as he is able to bring in the Weavile once again. I figured I'd just go into my Conkeldurr once again. It was the obvious play anyway, but I wanted to go for it anyway, as he does go for the Ice Punch. It does a good amount of damage, as you can see there. Turns out that he is Life Orb. I think I knew that earlier, but I didn't really pay attention. So he is going to switch out now, go into his Quagsire, as I just go straight for the Mach Punch. Honestly, I probably should have just predicted this and gone into my Landorus so I can set up my Stealth Rocks. Honestly, it wasn't the best play on my part. But then again, this Quagsire does take poison damage as he does come in anyway. So it's not really the worst situation in the world. Now here, I'm going to make a good play. I'm going to predict him to go for the Earthquake because I know he doesn't want to go for the Scald because if he burns me, he does activate Guts. So it was a little bit risky for him, as I do get the Intimidate drop, fine by me, as he does go for the Earthquake. So I'm making some really good predictions in this match. At this point, I don't care if he scalds me. I don't care if he burns me. I want to get up rocks up in this match because rocks are going to be huge. He has a Weavile weak to rocks. He has a Dragonite weak to rocks. I really want to go for rocks. I don't care if he burns me. I don't care if he goes for Scald. No matter what. I know I can live a Scald anyway, but I honestly just wanted to get up rocks. Skull does a really good amount of damage, and he does get the burn. You know, whatever. I kind of was expecting him to get the burn anyway, honestly, with the way that I was playing throughout this match. But not really going to complain there. I do have Heal Bell on my Chansey if I really need it. Honestly, I don't think I will because at this point, my Landorus barely has any HP anyway. At this point, I figured I'd just go for the U-turn, predicting him to maybe go for the Toxic, predicting the switch or something along those lines. Or even, I don't know. Skull was definitely his best play anyway, but I decided to go into my Latios at this point. Honestly, if he goes for Skull, I can take that. As long as he doesn't get the burn, I'll be happy. Burn isn't going to matter too much to this Latios anyway. Thankfully, he doesn't get the burn, which is pretty nice. At this point, I'm free to go for a Draco Meteor. Nothing on his team wants to take a Draco Meteor now that Ferrothorn is out of the way. So Draco Meteor, as long as I don't miss, kills anything on his team. Honestly, he decides to stay in, which is his best play, as he is going to sack off his Quagsire. I really have nothing else to hit this Quagsire with, so honestly, Draco Meteor obviously was the best play, even though this Quagsire barely had any HP left. I do get a crit. You know, whatever. It's not really going to matter too much, as the Quagsire does go down. So, at this point, he can now bring in the Weavile once again, but he is going to take Stealth Rock damage. I'm really, really happy with that. At this point, I obviously want to switch out. I'm going to go into my Landorus, pretty much as Death Fodder, just so he'll take some recoil damage as well as he tries to hit me. But he makes a great play and goes to the Pursuit. So, it turns out that he does have Pursuit. He didn't go for Pursuit earlier because he didn't want me to stay in earlier and go for Draco Meteor. Had I done that, Pursuit might not have killed earlier. So, honestly, he did make the great play there. So, and I am going to lose my Latios. So, that's really unfortunate. But I do get a free switch into my Scizor now. And at this point, I figured I'd Mega Evolve now and just go straight for the U-turn. I want Switch Initiative. I knew he probably wasn't going to sack off his Weavile anyway. Weavile is so important to him in this match, as he brings in the Infernape, and this Infernape is going to take a lot of damage to this U-turn. Honestly, the way he's been bringing in Infernape in this match, I've definitely been thinking that he is Choice Scarfed in some way, but I'm not really sure in this match, but we will find out. So I do go for the U-turn. It does a pretty good amount of damage, and he does take poison damage as well, so I do get Switch Initiative, and I can potentially bring in any mon I want. I figured I'd go into Conkeldurr now, because I can potentially hit him with a Mach Punch and kill him. But here I'm going to make a very nice play. You guys are going to see in 1 second. I can go for the Mach Punch. But I actually decided to break the switch into the Dragonite. And after the Stealth Rocks, the Multiscale is going to be broken, and I am going to be able to get off an Ice Punch and kill this Dragonite. Honestly, this was my favorite play in this whole match. It was a very risky play, but I honestly felt like I had to make it. I really wanted to get rid of this Dragonite. I could not have him setting up, especially with my Landorus almost dead. At this point, he brings in the Alakazam. You know, that's interesting. I don't want to die just yet because I can potentially go for one more Mach Punch. I figured I'd go into my Landorus here, as this probably is his Mega Evolution anyway. As long as he doesn't go for Calm Mind, I should be fine. I figured he'd try to kill me anyway. He wants to get rid of my Conkeldurr, because he obviously does not want me to deal damage to him. So he does activate my Trace, does activate Intimidate. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me at all in the slightest, because this Landorus is pretty much Death Fodder at this point, as he does go for Psychic, and that actually tells me a lot, because that tells me since he went for Psychic, that tells me he doesn't carry Psyshock, and that is huge, because now I can bring in my Chansey, and Psyshock, if you guys don't know, hits on the physically defensive side, and Chansey pretty much has no physically defensive bulk, so at this point I can scare out the Alakazam and go for a free Seismic Toss to whatever he wants to bring in. He brings in Weavile, which I thought was interesting, as I am going to be able to get off a Seismic Toss. And this Weavile, he pretty much brought in his Death Fodder, and that's going to be really awesome for me. And the Weavile is going to die. So yeah, so Chansey putting in work. Thankfully, his Alakazam doesn't have the Psyshock. Otherwise, that could have been huge. Now, here's where I make another good play. He has the Infernape now, right? At this point, he has two moves to go for. He can go for the Flare Blitz, or he can go for the Close Combat. I decided to go into my Gengar now, pretty much Death Fodder. I am Focus Sashed. It's not going to really matter too much in this match at all, as he does go for the Flare Blitz, and he is going to be able to take me down. Honestly, Gengar, if his Infernape is Choice Scarfed, then Gengar is outsped by both the Infernape and the Mega Alakazam. So if he decides to go for Close Combat, lock himself into that, then my Gengar gets a free Shadow Ball. But if he goes for Flare Blitz and kills me, that's fine, because he dies to Poison, and then I can get another free Switch Initiative. And now with that, finally with that, with the Infernape gone, his last mon is the Alakazam. At this point, I can pretty much stall him out at this point. I really can just potentially just keep spamming Soft Boils and keep spamming Seismic Tosses. And at this point, it's my match. He does miss the Focus Blast this turn, which is actually, I'm not sure if that mattered because I think barring a crit, he wouldn't have killed me. But since he does get the focus miss, and that's really unfortunate for him, but I do get softballed. I pretty much go back to full. You're going to see how much damage that focus blast does. It almost does nothing. Like I said, if he got the crit earlier, that might have been able to take me down. Honestly, I still have my Scizor with Bullet Punch and U-Turn, and I do still have Conkeldurr with Mach Punch. So I have two potential priority moves to go for. He goes for Focus Blast. That time, that was a crit. So as you guys can see, had he gone a crit on the very first Focus Blast that he missed, he might have been able to kill me. So yeah, so at this point, he is actually hitting a lot of his Focus Blasts. You know, it's fine. I can potentially just keep stalling him with softballs. Yes, I'm going to be that guy. I really want to kill this Alakazam with Chansey. Yep, I'm definitely going to be that guy. So yeah, so at this point, this is pretty much my match. As long as he doesn't have like rest or something along those lines, I pretty much have this match in the bag. He is hitting all of his Focus Blasts, though. He missed that one earlier, but I think he hit 3 or 4 in a row there, as I'm able to just go for Seismic Toss. Pretty much, I just want damage at this point. One more Seismic Toss is going to be able to take him down, as he does go for the Focus Blast. That is not going to be able to take me down, and I can go for one last Seismic Toss and finish off this Mega Alakazam. So that is going to be a 3-0 victory in my favor. Honestly, that was a really good match. I'd made a lot of good predictions in this match, and they definitely did pay off. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this match, and yeah, that was a 3-0 victory in my favor. So definitely leave a like if you enjoyed this match, maybe a favorite and a subscription as well, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So this is Shadow Artie signing out. Peace, guys.